You're lost. The metallic voice rang. Lifting the sword to my face, I responded, Shut up. We're not lost. I said, You're lost. I know exactly where we are. Compass droned. The sword I carried is one of those magical, sentient swords. This one in particular is called Compass, the sword of guidance. It's supposed to have intricate knowledge of whatever area it's brought to, and its blade will point north if the sword is set down. When I first heard of it, I thought it would be the ultimate adventurer's tool. A sword that never lets you get lost? Who wouldn't want that? Turns out the stories left out one crucial detail. Unfortunately, the sword was also a proud asshole who doesn't answer any questions unless you treat it like a royal prince. Compass. I swear to the stars, if you don't tell me where we are and where to go, I will chip your blade against one of these rocks. I lowered the sword and stepped closer to one of the surrounding boulders. The cave was full of them, and they looked ripe to break a sword. Compass gasped. Actually gasped. Like a noblewoman about to faint, shaking in my hand. You wouldn't. You couldn't. What kind of barbarian threatens a helpless artifact? I'll have you know, my edge is artisanal. I raised it high above my head, ready to strike the rock as hard as I could. Fine. Set me down and I'll point the way out. But gently, gently. If you scuff my pommel, I'll never forgive you. With a smirk, I dropped the self-centered sword on the ground. Oops! Compass groaned and spun to point toward one of the nearby caves. That wasn't so hard, was it? I retrieved Compass and walked for the cave it pointed to. Why did I have to end up with a disrespectful handler? The sword groaned. Why did I end up with a disrespectful sword? That response may have been immature, but at least it was honest. I swear, you're the only sword in the world that acts like it's above getting used. Once we're out of here, I'm trading you in for another. I'm not dealing with your greedy hilt anymore. Greedy? The blade rang. You demand that I polish you once every other hour. You want me to keep you drawn so others can witness your splendor. You refuse to be used in combat because stars forbid you get blood on your blade. I raise it to my face. You, a sword, refuse to be used as a weapon. Compass remained silent. Too silent. Oh no, are you pouting now? I sighed. I am composing myself, thank you very much. Compass finally huffed. To spite it, I walked with the tip of its blade dragging on the cave floor. The light scraping of the tip scratching against stone would have annoyed anyone else, but it was music to my ears. Compass immediately tensed in my grip, somehow making itself heavier. My torch is growing dim. It's going to go out soon and there's no sign of this cave opening up to daylight. If it goes dark completely, I'll be stuck fumbling around until something in here decides I look like dinner. Locals say the deep caves aren't empty after nightfall. They talk about things with too many legs and no eyes, silent until they're right on top of you. Compass, you pointed this way. Shouldn't there be an exit soon? Compass remained silent for a moment. Yes, the exit is this way. I'm never wrong about directions. I get suspicious at the sword's moment of silence. Compass, I swear, if you lied about which way is out, I'm going to leave you here to rust. I know what I would be risking here if I lied. The exit isn't far. Compass's voice drones from the vibrations of its blade. You better not be. I keep walking, dragging the sword's blade against the cave floor. Can you please not drag me against the ground, at least? Of course not. Compass groaned as I kept its blade to the floor. Soon enough, I caught a glimpse of daylight right as my torch went out. You got lucky today, Compass. Here's hoping your next handler is more tolerant than I. Just get us out of here. I don't much enjoy being manhandled by you either. What manner of sword would be so opposed to being used as a sword should be? A decorative sword. You know, the kind that sits in a display and looks imposing. Excuse me for having standards, but I was crafted to be admired, not to cleave through beasts, like some common hatchet. I stopped at the entrance to the cave and looked Compass over. A decorative sword? Is that why you have me polishing you all the time? I didn't know such a blade could be magical. They usually aren't. I got unlucky, having my spirit imbued into the wrong weapon. I can't help but feel a little sorry for Compass's unfortunate circumstances, but that doesn't justify his attitude and the way he treated me. I exit the cave and lift Compass to carry it over my shoulder. The sword doesn't protest. The prospect of me ditching the thing with someone else must be worth the current position it's in. There's a town nearby with a shrine for magical weapons about a mile east. You can drop me off there. At last, a place where I will be appreciated. Perhaps even worshipped. You're a glorified compass, not an artifact of legend. Compass remained silent for the duration of the walk. As it had promised, there was a town here. My legs ached from so much walking, but I kept going. The shrine came into view. The sooner I got rid of Compass, the sooner I could have peace of mind. Between the two runic pillars of the shrine, a faint blue veil hovers like a curtain of light. Within this veil floats a small variety of magic swords. Some are well kempt, others well used, and two near the back are flat out broken. Either someone didn't know how to treat those swords, or they were less tolerable of something as annoying as Compass. Compass let out a dramatic sigh. Oh, to be among my true kin at last. Farewell, brute. May your next blade lack refinement and culture. I sincerely hope so. I release the stuck-up sword into the veil, and Compass hovers away to join the other blades. A sword with the power of navigation seemed too good to be true, and it turned out to be so. What good is an uncooperative, high-maintenance navigator? Another sword grabs my attention. A simple-looking cutlass with a golden blade. Its name, written in the mist below it, is Lucent, the sword of illumination. You're not going to be a pain in my neck like Compass, are you? Lucent's blade vibrates as it speaks. Of course not. Its voice is soft and gentlemanly. I'm one of few swords who've had the misfortune of being carried alongside Compass. Its attitude is unbearable even to me. With a smile, I clutch Lucent's blade and draw it from the veil. It's surprisingly light. I guess the gold is just the coloration and not the material. Well, I won't condemn you to sit in the veil with it again. I flick my finger against the flat of the sword's blade, and it rings beautifully. I shall serve you well, the sword says confidently. I sheath the blade across my back and walk away from the shrine. I'm sure you will. Lucent hummed in approval. You will find me quite agreeable, I assure you. I require no excessive polishing. I will not complain about being used in combat, and I most certainly will not berate you every step of the way. I exhaled in relief. Finally, a sword with some common sense. Lucent chuckles. Compass has a unique personality. I can't say I'll miss it. Neither will I. I adjust the strap on my shoulder. So you're the sword of illumination? That means you can light up dark places. Lucent's blade gives off a soft glow. Of course. Just a simple request and I shall light your path. I smirk. No riddles? No egotistical demands? No unnecessary theatrics? I think I'm going to like you, Lucent. Likewise. For the first time in a while, I feel like my sword, and I might actually get along.